On this show, we tend to concern ourselves with the little things, which of course means we usually completely neglect the big things. We should probably neglect the little things, too.
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Lovely. Yourself?
Just had a big bowl of kicks.
Very mature.
Okay. Vinny, I am really excited about SNL this week. Julia Louis-Dreyfus hosting on Saturday, April 16th. Should be a big episode.
JLD on SNL. OMG. That's good stuff.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Are you going to watch it? Watch it live, or are you going to wait till Sunday?
I'd like to watch it live, but I have a feeling I'll be fast asleep.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to watch the highlight reel. If people are going to say, yeah, these were the good skits, and just watch those, or do you have to watch it, from start to finish?
just like with Larry's episode, I'd like to see every single skit. Both ones he's in and not in.
Right.
And I'd like to do the same for Julia's. But I really hope that they release some behind-the-scenes footage of what ensued, through rehearsal and dress and things like that, to see if because she, as we know, she is quite the laugher as well. And when you get into the wee hours of the night and early morning, she tends to just lose it and laugh, which is when I find her the most charming. So I hope we get some gems from that this week.
Yeah, we might. I'm looking forward to it. Once again, that Larry David blooper reel for, what was the guy's name? Kevin...
Oh, man. Kevin Roberts.
Yeah, that reel, the blooper reel. Just incredible. So good. I have a feeling they'll do the same with Julia. Any predictions? Do you think we're going to get some Seinfeld mentions? Maybe a reference or two? Maybe.
If anything, we'd probably get, hopefully, please. If anything, I think we'll get some Veep references.
Yeah, that's more likely. Veep season 5 starts on the, 24th, April 24th.
Hence why she's plugging away.
Yeah. But yeah, you're probably right at that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of political references too, just with the election coming up.
Now what would be really something is if we could get Bernie Sanders, a.k.a. Larry David, on there while JLD's on there. That would be something.
Yeah, we might actually. That would make a lot of sense, having Selena Myers and Bernie Sanders maybe cross paths.
It's a new ticket. Yeah. 2016, they're going to run together.
All right. Well, also want to mention April 26th, mark it on your calendars, I'm going to be hosting some Seinfeld trivia at the Holland House in New York City. If you'd like to play 5 rounds of trivia hosted by yours truly, come on by. We'll include a link in our show notes. If anyone wants to play, please RSVP. That's important before the big night. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. I'll, of course, mention it next week as well, in case you need a reminder. But it's Tuesday, April 26th at the Holland House, 5 rounds of Seinfeld trivia. We didn't really start the news segment here, Vinny, but I guess we're in news already. Did you watch the J. Peterman Kickstarter video?
I most certainly did, and it was delightful.
So the video does a better job explaining it, but in reality, the reality tour... the J. Peterman catalog, I think, had some pretty big financial issues over the past, 5 or 10 years. They're not what they used to be, but they have started a Kickstarter campaign, I think, in order to, get some public interest going again for some of their products. And there's this whole list of really interesting outfits, jackets, hats, what have you, on their Kickstarter page that you can back and eventually get in the coming year. But there's one interesting item that they're definitely hoping will be a big seller. I don't think it's going to be, but...
Not for that price.
Not for that
Sorry.
price. But they are selling the Urban Sombrero, which is incredible because that's a reference from 20 years ago. In the episode Seinfeld, it brought down the company, or it hurt the company at least.
That could have been the catalyst that brought it to its demise in real life.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, that's... They're doubling down, they're really going for it. But you can pay. How much is it? $250.
That's
how much it costs.
Yes.
Yes.
I consider myself a diehard fan and love doling out money for merch, and I don't think I would spend that for a hat.
If I had the money, that you money, I would definitely buy one. But yeah, just I don't know if that price is right.
This just in, Matt. I'm actually reading on Wikipedia right now. I wanted to confirm.
Hang on. Wikipedia. That's a good source.
Don't start. But despite $75 million in sales at its peak, the company, J. Peterman Company, was forced into bankruptcy in January 1999. The company was purchased by Paul Harris Stores in 1999 without the future participation of Peterman. Paul Harris Stores went bankrupt in 2000. In 2001, Peterman repurchased the name and restarted the J. Peterman Company with John O'Hurley as an investor.
I've heard when people see John O'Hurley on the street, they think he is the real J. Peterman. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that he would, invest in the company, right? I mean, he's a recognizable face.
Well, I think it's helped put his kids through college as much as the real J. Peterman.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, really interesting video we'll include in our show notes from the J. Peterman catalog. The Kickstarter video, I don't know, it's like 5 minutes long. It kind of explains the history of the brand, which I didn't know about. They don't have these big factories putting these clothes together. They really go to the location and they find local designers and
they're meant to be kind of one-of-a-kind items that you really can't find, at various shops.
Right.
The real J. Peterman said in the video, he's like, for 20 years, people have been hounding me over this one item, and I fought so hard not to do it. And he's like, finally I'm going to do it.
And that's the Urban Sombrero.
The Urban Sombrero, yeah.
Okay, because I was just wondering where that where that idea came from. He's been fighting it, and he's giving in, I guess.
And we should also state, for those that haven't watched the video yet, John O'Hurley is in it. He's the one who starts the promo. So
yes.
If you're not going to buy anything, at least watch for John O'Hurley, the fictional real Peterman.
Absolutely. We'll include a link in our show notes for the video and the Kickstarter page. Vinny, let's move on to...
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It would have been it would have been cool if real J. Peterman encountered John O'Hurley and he was like, "You're that gangly fellow we bought the stories from."
Yeah, that could work.
This stuff writes itself.
I'll tell you, John O'Hurley's energy is a lot higher than the real J. Peterman. That's for sure.
That's true.
Let's move on to our new segment, Vinny, Newman's Mailbag. Well, Vinny, I figured we could go over some emails from some of our listeners in regards to last week's discussion of the chaperone. First email is from David Willardson. He writes, as both a Seinfeld fan and a baseball fan, I couldn't help but notice the similarities while watching The Chaperone between Buck Showalter and Mr. Kruger. They really sound the same, similar tone, cadence. He thinks even if you put a Yankees cap on Kruger, they'd look identical. I'm in 100% agreement with David here. They look identical, don't they?
George. I think David's absolutely right. I see it too. I think the test would be we got to get Buck Showalter to say Kruger and see how it sounds, and then we'll know for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know who Buck Showalter was until I saw that episode of Seinfeld, and I remember thinking that that guy looks a lot like what's his name, Daniel von Bargen, the actor who played Kruger.
Next email comes from Braden Bradford. Remember when we were talking about episodes and their namesake, if any of the Fab Four actually corresponded to a particular episode name?
Like the chaperone is Kramer.
There you go. So that was the first one Braden found. He also found Jerry as the Good Samaritan, George as the Marine Biologist, Kramer as the stand-in, Elaine as the Beard, also Elaine as the Susie, Jerry as the Doorman, and George as the Doodle.
So what do you think, Vinny? Are any of those debatable? I'm a little lukewarm on the stand-in. Just, Kramer is the stand-in, but Mickey is as well.
Yeah, Kramer technically counts as a stand-in, but when I think of the stand-in, I'm thinking of the one and only Mickey Abbott.
Right.
The only other one that seems kind of iffy would be Jerry as the Doorman.
But again, like the stand-in, right? It's
right.
It counts.
It's the same argument, yeah. Judge ruling counts.
I might have to take George as the Doodle off. It is a doodle of George, but he is not the Doodle himself. Well, but he is, though.
He is the Doodle. What are you talking about?
But George is George. The Doodle is the Doodle.
But the Doodle is of George. Hence,
boy.
Doodle.
Oh, another one I want to throw into the mix, if we're counting the stand-in and the doorman. What about the soulmate? I know that's Pam, but could Kramer maybe be the soulmate?
He does say we're soulmates. Mm-hmm. But I guess, I mean, when I think of the soulmate, I'm thinking of Pam as being the soulmate.
Of
so
course.
it's debatable.
Right. Debatable.
Technically, you're not wrong, but, you are.
All right, so there are a few in the bunch there that could go either way.
Still a really fun game to try and, going through each episode.
Another email here comes from Terry Harlow. This is directed at you, Vinny. During your last episode, you were talking about how it was a coincidence that Elaine looked like Jackie O. Vinny mentioned that it was a big coincidence, but we all know that you can't have a big coincidence. You either have a coincidence or you don't. Just an observation. Now, Vinny, before you answer, I was editing last week's episode, and you said big coincidence 2 or 3 times. First time is a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Second time is a big coincidence. Third time, you're doing it on purpose. You were referencing Rava, weren't you?
I was referencing Rava there, but Terry is absolutely right. There are no big and small coincidences. There are just coincidences.
Yes. Exactly.
Well.
Well, thanks everyone for sending in your emails. If you'd like to send in an email about this week's episode, you can send it to seincast@gmail.com. Let's move on to the Plugola of the week.
Oh yeah, Plugola.
Vinny, did you notice that we got a new Seincast logo?
I did notice the new logo.
Yes, I'm really happy with it. We needed a bit of an upgrade, I feel, from our.
We needed to shut down and retool.
Yes, emphasis on the tool.
Retooling. I'll retool you.
Well, thanks to one of our listeners, a fantastic graphic artist by the name of Aaron FitzSimons. We have our new logo, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to Aaron for all of his work putting together this new logo. It's great. The Seincast logo itself has been upgraded. We've got a little podcast, beacon going out of the eye, the tittle.
That's my favorite part of the logo.
Oh, it's fantastic. You've got the hair of the Fab Four there. It's so iconic. But Aaron was so gracious with his time to put this together for us. I'm very happy with it. You're very happy with it. It's much simpler than the old one. Mm-hmm.
Aaron hails from Australia. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's from Australia. We had some interesting emails back and forth because there was a bit of a lag, I think, between the time differences. Mm-hmm. He's emailing while I'm asleep and vice versa. It's
a good thing you guys didn't have any face-to-face meetings because he sounds like he might be a bit of a close talker.
Oh, because of the name Aaron. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Aaron. But no, we just wanted to give you a shout out and thank you so much for all of your work on the new logo. And if anyone out there would like to reach out to Aaron, check out some of his work, even hire him, you can check him out. AaronFitzSimons.com. We'll include a link in our show notes. Thanks again, Aaron. We really appreciate it. Vinny. Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Stepped on the cord.
Vinny, if people would like to get in touch with us, how can they do that?
Several methods, Matt. We have a Gmail, seincast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram.
Right on. What episode do we got this week?
The second episode of Season 6, The Big Salad. Written by Larry David, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired September 29th, 1994.
Giddy up. This episode just has so many incredible, hilarious, unique moments. Definitely more than any episode so far. Maybe for the rest of the series. I don't know.
Wow.
But it seemed like
saying something.
Every 20 seconds, I'm like, I love this moment. I love this line delivery. I love this mannerism.
Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing which moments are those moments.
Oh, there's a lot of them. So just wanted to warn people. I might say, I love this a lot more this week than normal. Well, Vinny, this week we've got the big salad, right? Do you know the inspiration, the real life incident?
I think I do.
Oh, what do you got?
It was inspired by a incident involving Larry David and Seinfeld editor Janet Ashikaga. Larry David was...
Shakaga.
You can't help but want to say Shakaga when you hear her name. But Larry David was in an edit room. He was going out to get something to eat. He asked Janet what she wanted. She, of course, wanted a big salad. And then Jerry's assistant, Carol, brought the big salad, despite Larry paying for it. So Janet gave a thank you to Carol, not Larry. And in true Larry David fashion, he got upset when he didn't get his due thanks.
It's proper thank you. I wonder how that went down, though. I wonder if Larry was kind of passive-aggressive about it, or did he directly tell Janet, hey, I paid for the salad? Like, how did it go down?
Yeah.
Basically? I love it when a storyline is just ripped from real life. That's perfect. Well, let's talk about probably the biggest thing to come out of this episode, and I mean that literally. This is the first episode that features the iconic New York street set. We were talking about this last season, Vinny, during the '94 earthquake in January. Some of the sets were damaged due to the earthquake, and the show is actually going to move to Paramount. They looked at their stages and their facilities, and it just honestly didn't seem feasible. It's also really inconvenient to film your interior scenes, at the CBS lot, and then when you need to be outside, having to drive and move all the way over to Paramount. It just was really inconvenient. So CBS, of course, didn't want to lose the show. They decided to build this huge street set, which is actually still in use today. Have you ever recognized this on other shows?
On other shows? How I Met Your Mother is not the same set, right?
I want to say it is, because that is a CBS show. Doesn't mean they shot at the CBS lot. You'd think they do, but they might. I'm not entirely sure about that. There's one area of the street set I see pop up all the time, especially on like Mindy Project and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's those the little walk up to Elaine's.
Oh, yeah. It's like 3 stairs, and then there's like a little bit of an entranceway with an awning.
Yeah, it's like a brick facade. That shows up in a lot of shows.
Okay.
So I recognize that. But, the storefronts, they change them out, I think, so frequently. It's kind of hard to recognize those areas. But yeah, I think a show like How I Met Your Mother would definitely use this. I have some interesting notes here. Production designer Tom Azzari said that the street was designed after Columbus Avenue in 1980s New York. So it has that neighborhood feel to it.
Isn't that where Amy was swapping spit with somebody?
Oh, yeah. Columbus Ave, probably.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just checking.
Columbus Avenue. It's on the west side there, near the.
Sure.
Yeah, no, come on. We've whatever. You've been.
I don't. You do all the directions when we travel. Okay. I don't know what's going on with New York City.
Well, apparently, Tom Azzari actually had stairwells and light posts brought in from New York City to make it authentic as possible. In those manhole covers in the street, sometimes you see steam come out of them, so they're rigged for steam. But Tom Azzari revealed in an interview, you can actually take the manhole cover off, and there's like a hole there that goes down 6 feet, so actors can go down into the street if they need to. I don't think we ever see that on Seinfeld, but the option's there.
I recall seeing steam at least in an episode, but I don't recall anybody ever coming out of a manhole cover.
The winter episodes, definitely to sell that cold atmosphere, you'll see steam coming out. In The Race, that comes to mind, First time watching Seinfeld, though, I'll tell you, I always thought they were filming on an actual street. But, in reality, it's actually pretty small. When you see a wide shot of it, it's not very long.
Yeah.
It's very narrow, especially when actors are walking on the sidewalk. There is no room for people to walk around them.
Yeah, but it's just fancy, blocking and clever shooting and camera positioning to create this expansive effect that is New York City. So awesome production team that Seinfeld had.
Yeah, Andy Ackerman actually said he would shoot with a long lens, which really helps. So you can just imagine that the sidewalk goes on forever, really. Those wide shots, though, like The Race or like the I forget the episode title, when they're playing Risk. Yeah, and you see Kramer and Newman running. You can see it is a very limited set, but
it works.
Yeah, definitely. They work their magic and really make it look great. One last thing here. Justin Tapp, one of our listeners, was kind enough to send along the Big Salad script, a PDF. This is, Vinny, a scanned copy of the actual script they used while filming the episode.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll include a link in our show notes if anyone wants to check it out. It was really cool to see this. I had actually never seen a copy of a script like this. I've seen transcripts, but this not only has a few notes in it, a few watermarks, there's actually a production schedule of, what scenes they're going to film, the cast members that need to be there, call times, rehearsals, all of that. A lot of cool info in this. Everyone should check this out. I actually watched the episode while reading the script, and I made a few notes whenever lines were changed or lines were omitted. I'll bring those up as we move through the episode.
If you go on eBay, people actually have scripts up for auction that are autographed.
Really?
That I think are similar to the PDF that Justin supplied.
I find it fascinating when you go in the stationery store that they're manufacturing millions of pens constantly. We're all buying them. I must have bought 6,000 Bics in my life. I've used up maybe 2 of them. Where is the rest of them? When you move the refrigerator, there's always a couple back there, but that doesn't account for it. Where are all the pens? That's why it's so embarrassing if you don't have one. You got a pen? Can I borrow a pen? We always have to whisper because it's so humiliating. I don't have a pen. They're making millions of them every week. I know. Where are they?
Did you ever see that image he posted on like Twitter, or Facebook, where he took a picture of this pen, completely empty, no ink in it, and he just said how satisfied he is that he used all the ink in this pen. And I've actually never seen a pen out of ink like that.
Right. Nor have I. Yeah, you usually just move on to the next pen.
Exactly. Yeah, but it was that clear plastic, Bic, which
with the blue top.
It might have been black, but it might have been blue. Who knows? The world may never know. I actually never cared for Bics, but seeing that image of Jerry, I tried out a Bic. It was nice,
Yeah.
For the price, I think you do all right.
There you go. Well, you got a pack of them.
Yeah.
It's fun to try and take the cap off too. That'll keep you busy for an hour. The bottom cap, not the top.
Oh, you can't do that. That's like wedged in there.
Oh, there's a way.
That's not going anywhere. I actually have a favorite kind of pen. It's not a Bic, but I've got a million of these Pilot G2 pens. You're familiar with these, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The pens are a little expensive, compared to your Bics, but this pen, it's so smooth. It's like a rolling rider, I mean, it's wonderful. I never lend these out. If I have one in my backpack and someone's like, "Oh, can I borrow a pen?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have one."
No,
I don't like losing these pens.
That's the way to handle it. You got to lie. Otherwise, I'm the same way. I lose my pens at work all the time. I set it down, somebody takes it.
Yes. Well, Vinny, let's talk about the first scene of the episode. We're at a stationery store, which...
And before you go on,
yes,
I want to talk about the opening shot.
Okay, what do you got?
The opening shot of the scene is a cop writing a ticket. Now, I'm thinking of a cop with an eye patch from the Scofflaw. Anybody? Is anybody with me?
Mr. Kramer. I can't do that. How do you do the voice?
Because of you.
There it is.
Yeah. But yeah, that got me thinking of the Scofflaw, who we might be seeing later on this season.
I have the same note here. I don't think it's him. This guy is a little thinner. And
a little wider.
No, he's black.
Oh, is he black? Oh.
I'll give you a couple minutes to decide. Also, I didn't notice an eye patch, but he's looking down, so it's kind of hard to tell.
But it's kind of cool that that's coming.
And what a great shot, I think, to establish this new street set. I mean, if you didn't tell me this is a set, I would assume this is a real location in New York. And that cop there just writing that ticket adds that little bit of realism to it for some reason. But the stationery store, this, in fact, I didn't check, but this might be the same stationery store, I think, where where George and Susan buy their wedding invitations. Different interior set, but I think the exterior is the same. They also changed the name from Stationers to Melody Stationery.
I remember that was a trivia question. Right?
When I heard that trivia question, I'm like, Melody Stationery? Who the hell would know that? But... yeah, people know it. Inside, Elaine is shopping for a special kind of pencil for Mr. Pitt. Jerry's tagging along as well.
May I help you?
Yeah, hi. I'm looking for a Rolomec 1000. It's a mechanical pencil.
Oh, I know the Rolomec 1000.
No, I'm sure you do.
They're pretty expensive.
Well, it's for my boss.
What do you do?
Whatever.
Well, we don't have any in stock right now, but I would be happy to order it for you. Just give me your phone number, and when it comes in, I'll give you a call. Your name is?
Elaine.
Elaine. And your last name?
It's just Elaine. Like Cher.
And your number?
It's KL5 2390.
Okay, thanks a lot. You'll be hearing from me.
Okay, so long.
Why did you give him my number?
I love this guy. Such a creepy performance.
He does what his character is required to do, and he nails it, which is why I love him too. I know the Rolomec.
Oh God!
But the stationery store guy, who is referred to as Barry in the script, is played by actor Jerry Levine.
Levine.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on. We need to say something else here. I don't think we've received more emails about anything on the show more than the Levine comment from the stakeout.
Or like controversy.
Yeah. So a while back, like almost 2 years ago, Vinny and I were confused about, why would Jerry's cousin correct and say Levine, not Levine? And so many people have written in being like, oh, he wants his name to sound less Jewish, I guess. Mm-hmm. So thank you, everyone, for the emails. Onward and upward.
But Jerry Levine was, he was born on the 4th of July. I'm taking that as he was born on 4th of July. Nope.
Can I get a new host in here?
Shut up. Shut the f- up.
That's your line. You usually say that to me.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good line. He was also in Teen Wolf. That's where I remember him most from. He was Styles, the hip friend.
I've never seen Teen Wolf.
Oh, Teen Wolf is an awesome movie with an 80s movie with Michael Jackson.
I thought, no, I think it's
not Michael Jackson, Michael J. Fox.
Oh, God.
I'm really sorry. And he was also on Will and Grace, but then he went on to become a famed director. He did many episodes of Everybody Hates Chris, Monk, It's Always Sunny, and Matt, he did some Twilight Zone episodes from 2002 to 2003. Huh. Dead Man's Eyes, The Path, Effect.
All my respect to Jerry Levine. Those episodes are terrible.
I'm just saying, I know you like Twilight Zone.
Not his episodes, but that run of the series was terrible.
Okay. One last bit of trivia. Another famed comedian auditioned for the role of Barry. Who is it? Ryan Stiles from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Also read for the role.
Vinny, not just Ryan Stiles, but also Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall auditioned for the role.
Are we talking about Denim Vest?
No, that's Kevin McDonald. Dave Foley was, I don't know the character name. He was the lead in News Radio.
Oh, okay.
He played the principal in It's Always Sunny in Gun Fever.
We are all over the map. Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, everyone. Vinny, as two guys here, we rarely bring any female insight to this podcast, but I'm sure most women can relate to what Elaine is going through in this scene. I can't imagine how uncomfortable that is. I don't know if it's every week, at least every month, where a woman is just trying to buy a pencil and the guy she's talking to is just a total and utter creep.
She knows exactly what he's up to, what his motives are. She wants nothing to do with him. She knows he's a jerk from the get-go. And we never have to deal with that. So
yeah, and it's sad because it's so funny, but I'm thinking about it, realistically, and like, God, this must be so difficult to deal with.
And she's just so tired, whatever. It's Elaine, just Cher.
Yeah, and I don't blame her, honestly, for going somewhere else to get the pencil, as we'll find out.
Of course not.
My God. I just wish she would have been like, nope, it's okay, I'll go somewhere else. I wish she could have, stood her ground a little bit better there. But yeah, my heart goes out to Elaine in this scene. I feel bad for her. Something to note from this scene too, Elaine gives the guy Jerry's phone number, right? But it's a different one than the one that George gave Mrs. Sokol and the boyfriend. Did you pick up on that?
Yep. Originally, from the boyfriend episode, it was KL58383.
Right. And in this one, it's KL52390. So I don't know why they changed it. That seemed to be a weird decision. But on the other hand, maybe it's weirder to have to keep continuity from an episode 3 seasons ago.
True. Or even weirder to obsess over said continuity 20-something years later.
Or to be recording our 88th episode of a Seinfeld podcast.
Whatever. Can you think of any other KL5 numbers that are mentioned in the series?
KL5?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, KL5. KL5. 555 Filk.
Filk. I'm Filk. I don't like when I hear KL5, it always takes me out of this altered reality.
Would you prefer 555?
I don't like that either because I know it's fake.
I prefer KL5 because I'm not because even though I know KL is 55, my brain still thinks, oh, maybe it's 765 or
but when you were younger and gave your number out to people, did you ever go, AB4?
Okay, yes.
That's why so irritating.
I think that's an outdated thing. But
I understand why they have to do it. It's just, it takes you out of it a little bit.
So it's so stupid that people would hear a phone number in a show that's not 555 and they would say, oh, I want to call that number. Who does that?
People do that.
It's so weird.
Well, when we were listening to a Tell 'em Steve Dave episode recently, Q accidentally, instead of private messaging his number to somebody, he put it on his Twitter feed. He had thousands upon thousands of texts and voicemails from people.
What were they saying?
He had to change his number. Bad stuff.
Oh, okay. That's just bizarre. I've never called a phone number in a movie or TV show, unless it's part of some viral marketing campaign, like call this number and you'll get a clue about, I don't know. Anyways, what's weird about changing the number from the boyfriend to this episode, the Big Salad, in the script, the phone number is KL54390. So they changed the 4 to 2. Again, just really weird decisions where I'm like, why was this changed?
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Jerry gets pushed out of the store. Elaine's like, let's get out of here. She explains that she gave his number to the guy because he was getting ideas. And I love Jerry's joke here. I wonder if any women ever said that about Einstein. That's a nice joke.
It's cute.
I feel like it gets kind of buried, between these two big scenes here.
Yeah, you're right.
But I got another clip here. Jerry and Elaine run into George and his girlfriend, Julie.
Hey, look who's here! Hi, Julie.
Oh, Elaine, Julie.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Elaine's my middle name.
Oh, mine's Ike.
Hey, you want to get some lunch?
Just had a big bowl of kicks.
Oh, well, that's very mature. What about you?
Oh, please come, Elaine.
No. But maybe you could bring me back something.
Sure, all right, what do you want?
I don't know. A big salad?
What big salad? I'm going to the coffee shop.
Well, they have big salads.
I've never seen a big salad.
They have a big salad.
Is that what I asked for? The big salad?
It's okay. You can just
No,
forget it.
hey, I'll get it. What's in the big salad?
Big lettuce, big carrots, tomatoes like volleyball.
So you be upstairs? All right, we'll see you in a little while.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to talk about with that awesome clip is when Elaine says, "My middle name's Ike," and she's quite tickled with her, how clever she is. You watch Jerry's reaction at that moment because he has no idea what to make of Elaine or her joke, and I can't help but see his perplexed face there.
I caught his reaction. He almost looks offended. I think he's going for confused. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
But he looks almost like mad. Like, that was really offensive.
Yeah.
The whole editing after that joke is weird because it kind of cuts to George and no one's laughing anymore.
Want to get some lunch?
What do you think they were trying to do there? Was Elaine trying to be just funny, random funny?
I think so. Affable, We'll be funny. And another thing I picked up on was another trait of Jerry's that always gets woven into the show is his adoration for cereal.
Yeah, big bowl of Kix. Gotta say, man, Kix takes me back.
Yeah.
That was probably my breakfast of choice as a kid. Kix and Kix with berries. Loved those.
Look at you.
Yeah. But let's hear it for the big salad, the first mention of the big salad. I don't think we've seen a big salad at Monk's before, right?
No, this may be the first reference to the big salad.
At least by name. I mean, we of course remember George eating one in an early episode. I think it was the heart attack, right? When he had the cucumber.
I need cucumber, yeah.
Yes. So he might have had a big salad, but he didn't know it at the time.
Another thing I picked up on, we tend to fixate on Elaine's distaste for George, her malice. But you can see in this scene, just his responses to her seem to ruffle her feathers. And she's like, just forget about it. I don't even want it. She's like, no, I got the big salad. But she seems to have very little tolerance for George.
Absolutely, yeah. That fuse is getting shorter and shorter. One thing to mention about Elaine and George at the end of this scene, and this gets backed up in the script that Justin sent us, when they walk away from each other, Elaine would mutter, "What a head case," and then George would mutter, "What a nut job." So once again, kind of reaffirming this divide between the characters. They really don't respect one another.
Sometimes there are things that are cut, and we'll say, oh, yeah, I could see why that was cut. But here's one of those circumstances where I kind of wish they would have left that one in.
I'm kind of confused, though, why George is having such trouble understanding this concept of a big salad. Is it not on the menu? Is it like a term where it's like, hey, give me the big salad, and they'll just like upcharge you $1 or $2 or something?
I guess it's like a large salad. That's
not on the menu.
Perhaps.
I brought you this big salad. It's not even on the menu.
A fabulous.
Oh, God.
No, don't. No.
Was that a salad in your mouth?
Let me do that again. Let me do that again.
Oh my God. What's going on?
My cord fell out.
Oh boy. Let's move over to Jerry's apartment. You got Jerry and Elaine. They're talking about dating at their age. What, mid to late 30s, would you say? You know, it's really getting embarrassing. Elaine always feels like people can tell when she's on a date. Jerry thinks it's painful to watch. In fact, he's not even taking his girlfriend out later. He doesn't need a bunch of people watching them. So, have you ever felt this way?
I think so. And I have in my notes, this is a really nice observation because, you know, my recent experience with dipping my toe into the dating world.
That's so weird. Just say your girlfriend.
No. I meant previously before.
Oh, okay.
But you go on these first dates and you got to be, hi, great to be here. You know, you got to be really excited, over animated. You're selling yourself. And you do, you know, I actually think of this moment when I go on these first dates when I'm trying to sell myself and put my best foot forward.
Are you interested in purchasing one of these today?
Yeah. This. Mm-hmm. I think people might be able to tell when you are on a first date. So I get where they're coming from here.
I can usually tell when someone's on a first date or it's early in their relationship, but unlike Jerry, I don't stare. Like, I've never observed people, you know, on a date. But yeah, I actually always like seeing people, you know, early on in a relationship. It's always like exciting. I'm like, oh, look at those two.
I like how they're taking a chance on each other. Taking a chance on love.
Yes. So there's some noise outside in the hallway, and Kramer enters with some golf clubs.
Dennis, what a jerk! I'm never playing golf with him again.
Who? Gendison?
Steve Gennison.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
He used to be a baseball player.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you end up playing golf with him?
Well, I met him on the course a couple of years ago. Yeah, played with him a lot. But today was it. We're on the 15th hole. Yeah, he's beating me by a couple of strokes. Then he's about to hit his second shot when he picks up the ball and cleans it.
So what?
Sorry. But the rules clearly state that you cannot clean the ball unless it's on the green. The rules are very clear about that.
Certainly are.
Yeah, so I penalized him a stroke.
So what happened?
He lost it. We almost came to blows. We're like face to face, like a manager and an umpire. You know, we're like, hey, what are you talking about? I don't say what you say.
You're in my face.
I still don't see what the big deal is.
Hey, a rule is a rule. And let's face it, without rules, there's chaos.
What I love about this clip is Kramer's 3-finger oath, and he closes his eyes and he swears to himself, I'm never playing golf with him again.
I didn't pick up on that. That's like a Boy Scout thing?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, good call. Yeah, some fantastic Kramer lines this episode. And this was actually in the script where he goes, Voop, sorry. Like they wrote out, Voop.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did.
Cool.
So they knew. But that moment, just my favorite, where he's talking about Gendison, how they almost came to blows. We're face to face like a manager and an umpire. Like,
Yeah. Now you're in Jerry's face.
Well, in the script, what I loved is they didn't write Kramer gets in Jerry's face and he screams and yada yada. All they wrote was he demonstrates. So it's like, Michael, you do your thing.
Yeah.
So in the script, he demonstrates is all they need for Kramer in that scene. And one other thing, Kramer looks so damn good in golf clothes. Like vintage golf apparel. It looks excellent. Maybe because he's so tall and lanky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah, lanky. Are these episodes starting to feel almost effortless in the way they there's like this imaginary formula now, and everything really flows. And I for one, am starting to notice these quick scenes. Bam, 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 bam.
Absolutely. This episode in particular, it's a Larry David episode, so there's not a lot of fat, you know, on these scripts. They're very quick, very focused. Let's talk about Steve Gendison, though. Love that name, Steve Gendison. Gotta admit, up until this recap, like literally this week, I always thought Steve Gendison was a real baseball player.
You're adorable.
Yeah. So, how did you know he wasn't? Just because you're a baseball fan, or was there?
I was a baseball fan, a hardcore baseball fan back at this time, and I had never heard this name. And I think I remember kind of like trying to look it up when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
But
you were doing your research,
my due diligence back then.
Okay.
Because I knew it would pay dividends one day.
there's something about the name and the way this episode plays out that makes me think he is a real baseball player. We do get we had Danny Tartable last week. We're going to have Danny Tartable next week. So why not, have another real life baseball player in an episode?
Well, I knew Danny Tartable was real.
Sure.
And then I figured, why would a real life ball player want to be accused of murder or something? So that's why I thought it would have to be fictional.
I thought that this guy, Steve Gendison, if he was a real person, like maybe he was, what's the tennis player who has the
Steffi
rage
Graf?
issues?
McEnroe. Johnny McEnroe. Mr. McEnroe.
So he's in Curb playing up those rage issues. Now, I know he was never on trial for a murder or anything, but I wondered if the Steve Gendison guy either was, like, I don't know, accused of a crime he didn't commit in real life, or, his life surrounded in controversy and he's just looking for some kind of opportunity to make a joke about it. But yeah, I don't know. I just wonder if there's anyone out there who thought Steve Gendison was a real baseball player.
Write in your thoughts, people.
Yeah. Larry David just invented the name Steve Gendison. I don't think it came from anyone in his life.
Oh, that's a rarity, huh? Since normally he just pulls these names, these great names from his past, and they fit so well into the Seinfeld world. They don't sound made up ever, except for Todd Gack. But
and of course, we'll return to the Gendison storyline later. Let's cut over to Monks. George is doing his best to act like he knows who Anna Quindlen is. What about Sapphire too?
Sapphire.
He can be pedantic.
He can be pedantic.
Does he do the at the end or
no?
Oh, okay.
That's a later episode. We're gonna see Woody.
But he is channeling Woody Woodpecker, right? He can be pedantic. Or is this just a George thing?
I never picked up on a Woody Woodpecker. I thought he was trying to hold his own with a more intellectual type girlfriend, since they're speaking about like journalism.
I don't think the syllables match up, because he can be pedantic is 6. Ha 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 ha. That's 5. All right.
Oh my goodness. Now can we get a new host in here?
Let's talk about Bob Herbert. He used to work for the Daily News.
Yes, you know what's interesting? The quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons is Bobby Hebert. No R, which I find fascinating. It's Herbert, Herbert, Hebert, Hebert. Hebert. It's a fun name to pronounce. Try and say it. Hebert. Go ahead, take a shot. Hebert. All right, now.
Matt, is this one of those moments that you love so much about this episode?
Yes, absolutely.
Because this is one for me, too. I love this little blurb so much. I remember watching Bobby Hebert as a kid, but I remember him playing for the Saints at one point, and his name always stuck out to me. And this fascination with the name seems like something a Larry David type would stumble upon. And I love the way Jason plays it, as if it's one of the most fascinating things he's ever heard. In his head, Hebert. It's a fun name. Try and say it. And then meanwhile, Julie is probably in her mind just saying, what an idiot. I got to get out of here.
You can, you mentioned Larry David. You can really hear Larry David's voice in this. And I don't know if Jason is just, channeling George, or if he's trying to do a little homage to Larry David, but it's there. If it's not in the performance, it's definitely in the writing.
And that's something I feel like we've seen in Curb a lot too, where if Larry likes something, he'll kind of be like, yeah, try it with me,
Yeah.
And George wants Julie to try and sound out this word as well, or this name. Speaking of Julie, she is played by actress Michelle Forbes, and she's been in The Killing, Battlestar Galactica, True Blood, 4 episodes of The Walking Dead. She was in 24, Day 2, and she was also in Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Oh, very cool. Vinny, you were wondering if Bobby Hebert played for the Saints, and sure enough, one of our listeners, Paul Elliott, wrote in to say that he did play for the Saints. They actually went to the same college, not together, but they both went to Northwestern State University in Louisiana. At the time this episode aired, he played for the Falcons, and then Paul wrote that he also played for the Saints. And he currently works for the Saints as an analyst for the pregame and postgame shows on the local radio station.
Oh, so if we tune in, we might hear him say, hey, it's Bobby Hebert.
Hebert, yes. So thanks to Paul for that insight. In the script, they put in parentheses that a bear is pronounced a beer, B-E-E-R.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, so it's not beer, it's bear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, you look very confused right now.
I'm having that moment of Chris Farley and Tommy Boy where he's like, "It's got to be your bull." Like I'm perplexed.
Okay. Well, the waitress drops off the check, and George, insists on buying. Money's not an issue to him, which might be true now that he's working for the Yankees, but it definitely is going to contradict what happens later. Julie is given the big salad to go from the waitress, and George, he makes a face when she accepts it.
Let's also point out that Julie says, no, I'd like to pay for mine. And George insists, hey, it's really meaningless who pays for the salad. So please, don't insult me. Now, George has said, he's been on record in previous episodes where all he wants is a reach. Yes. Just reach for the check, and he's happy. He's happy to pay. Julie did that. She even said, I will be happy to pay for mine. So yeah, George, foot, mouth, it's coming.
It's again perfect Larry David, where Cheryl says in Curb, like, not everyone knows your rules, Larry. And this is one of these contradicting rules that George has.
His rules change by the hour. So
yes,
what time is it?
Based on mood. Let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. The phone rings. Jerry's a bit annoyed. Turns out it's the stationery store guy just calling to say he ordered the pencil.
I told you, he has ideas.
Yeah, he doesn't care if a man answers.
Or you.
Oh, yeah. Love that jab. That's a good one.
Jib jabbing going on.
So George and Julie arrive with the big salad. Did you notice Elaine's wave in this scene? She's like taking a swig out of her soda so she can't say hi. So she's like, but both hands go up and she's like above her head and she's like, hi.
I did not notice that.
It's really weird.
I'll go back and watch that.
All right. Well, Julie presents Elaine with the big salad. Elaine says, thank you, Julie. And did you notice how Julie says you're welcome?
Oh, you're very welcome.
She takes so much credit for the salad there. Again, George sort of screwed himself over by insisting on paying for it. Money's not an issue. But Julie, I think, is really overstepping her bounds here. Do you get the sense that Julie is taking credit for the salad?
Absolutely, yeah.
This is why I really don't like the Julie character, though, because she's so...
Is she taking credit for this big salad with intent or unbeknownst to her? That's the question.
Yeah. I think Julie's too smart for George. I think she's a little pretentious, too.
Yes.
And I think she is deciding, like, this guy's an idiot. Mm-hmm. And maybe even, like, unconsciously doesn't like him. So she's just like, screw it, I'm gonna take credit for the salad. Like, I don't care about this guy. I don't know, maybe we're overanalyzing, which is most likely, but I'm
not a huge fan of her either.
I feel bad because the only reason I don't like her really is taking credit for the salad. But anyways, though, there's something on George's mind here, as she says, you're welcome. He can't accompany Julie and her mother to the Guggenheim.
No, you Guggenheim. I'm not much of a Guggenheimer.
That's another great joke. That's another loophole. Yeah, I love that. And when Julie leaves, what does Jerry say?
Bye-bye. Yes. Now who's the phony baloney?
So much going on in this episode, man. It's just from the Elaine's like wave to the Guggenheimer to bye-bye. It just keeps going. Then we get this wonderful conversation here.
Did you see what just happened here?
Well, that all depends.
Did you happen to notice that Julie handed the big salad to Elaine?
Yeah, so?
Well, she didn't buy the big salad. I bought the big salad.
Is that a fact?
Yes, it is. She just took credit for my salad. That's not right.
No, it isn't.
I mean, I'm the one that bought it.
Yes, you did.
Don't you think she should have said something?
She could have.
Oh, I know.
Imagine her taking credit for your big salad.
You buy a big salad for somebody, it would be nice if they knew it.
Obviously.
Now, what I'd like to know, based on this clip, is Jerry as miffed as George is about this notion of taking credit for someone else's big salad, or is he merely egging George on to become further enraged?
I'm going with the latter, for sure.
Okay, so he's just kind of placating George and letting George fill with rage.
Yeah, I don't think he cares really. It's these moments where I think George gets kind of cocky. Like earlier when Jerry mentioned, I just had a big bowl of kicks. George goes, oh, that's very mature. Like he's kind of like a jerk to Jerry, but George is as immature as it gets. So I feel like when George is feeling like good, he gets really cocky and arrogant. And now he's low, he's mad about something. So I think Jerry is now going to kind of egg him on a little bit or just,
But Jerry clearly doesn't give a, about what George is experiencing here.
I don't think so.
The two lines that stand out are, imagine her taking credit for your big salad.
Exactly.
And then, it'd be nice if they knew it. And Jerry goes, obviously.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be best friends, right?
Yeah, but it's also a pretty dumb thing to get upset about. I'm sure Jerry's heard these kind of complaints his whole life, but...
Hey, it's George.
Mm-hmm. I think Jerry is getting some satisfaction out of seeing George in this situation, just like last week with That's a Shame.
What gives you satisfaction?
Listening to you. Anyways, Kramer barges in a panic, turns on the TV. It's a news segment. Turn it on. And we hear that the real-life baseball player, Steve Gendison, Vinny?
Sure, what the hell?
All right, real-life legend.
You heard it first.
Steve Gendison.
The owner of the home run record in baseball, Steve Gendison.
There you go. He's been taken to police headquarters for questioning in the murder of Bobby Pinkus, the owner of Royal Dry Cleaners. According to Pinkus's wife, Gendison was involved in a dispute with the cleaner about a stain on a pair of gray Sansabelt slacks. They also have the report that a groundskeeper at the Van Cortlandt golf course reportedly saw Gendison storming off in a huff, and there might be a connection between these two things. So basically Gendison is being questioned for the murder of this poor little dry cleaner.
Poor little Pinkus.
Yes. Now, at this point, the gang, the Fab Four, they're all gathered around watching the news segment. And Jerry, tries to tell Kramer, who's obviously upset, this has nothing to do with you, Kramer. I know you got in a fight with Steve, but you're not related to this crime. But Kramer thinks that maybe, calling him out on that penalty stroke is what led to the dry cleaner being murdered.
Well, generally speaking, you don't need any extra incentive to murder a dry cleaner.
Yes.
Leave it to Jerry to never pass up an opportunity to make a joke at the expense of a dry cleaner.
Yes. He loves those dry cleaners. And that's one of the earliest jokes on Seinfeld, the I schlunk it.
Yeah.
Dry cleaners go all the way back to the first season.
The reporter that we saw on TV is actual reporter Barry Nolan. He previously was a co-host of a news series, hence why he predominantly plays reporter roles. But he was in The Birdcage. He was in one episode of The Larry Sanders Show, which we've been talking about in past episodes. And he was also in the movie In the Army Now.
Oh. Is that the Pauly Shore movie?
Pauly Shore, baby.
Oh, God. Well, it is the 90s, so I guess we can talk about him.
And that news snippet where we're hearing the anchor read aloud, doesn't that feel like kind of the end of season 3 or the beginning of season 4? It has that old Seinfeld feel to it.
He's known only as Kramer. Yes. We'll get a little bit more of that at the end for sure. What an amazing reaction for Michael Richards when he makes the connection, between like the penalty stroke and maybe murdering the dry cleaner. There's a great gif of that online of Michael just turning to the side, his mouth wide open, shaking. Also, before this episode, I'd never heard of Sansabelt slacks or that product line.
That term too.
Yeah, Sansabelt, and I'm like, what is that? If you break it down, and this might just be theorizing, but if you break it down, you got sans belt, and sans, of course, it's French for without. Sans parents.
Nice, good work, my friend.
Yes, which means they're beltless pants, and that made me think of the executive, the beltless trench coat.
So the Sansa coat.
There you go. Well, let's move over to a taxi. Elaine and George are sharing a cab here. George is really trying to hold back on the topic of the big salad and who paid for it, but he decides to go for it and asks Elaine, hey, you enjoy your lunch? I happened to pay for it. Julie handed you the bag, but, he stretches this out. It becomes very awkward.
I'd like to point out, though, you mentioned how, and I mentioned how, Elaine usually, loses her patience with George. At the beginning of this cab ride, she says, I like Julie. She's very personable.
Yeah.
she says, "That's great, George." She seems genuinely happy for George. They're having a nice moment, and like you just said, he is going to ruin it with his neuroses.
Yes, absolutely. Elaine just really falls apart by the end. Just like hands just like stretching over her face. She can't deal with it anymore. Yeah, George tells her what happened. I paid for it. Julie handed it to you. I should get the thank you. In this situation, the credit is more important. Or not the credit, it's that Julie took it from him.
It's the etiquette of that transaction.
Let's go over to Jerry's apartment. He's explaining to his girlfriend, Margaret, who we're meeting for the first time, about Gendison and the murder. And, who's really to say since they haven't arrested him yet? But I'm sure very similar to a lot of people who are following the O.J. Simpson trial. If not the trial, the murder, really. Mm-hmm. And, why isn't he a suspect yet? Why haven't they brought him in? I like that. I like, once again, that we're getting this sort of like preamble to the eventual pursuit of the suspect. But Margaret wants to go out. Jerry sticks to his guns. He doesn't need a bunch of people staring at them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame because Margaret and Jerry, they're a good looking couple. You know what I mean? They should go out there. They should
making the scene.
Yeah. Phone rings. It's a stationery store guy again, and Jerry eventually gets off the phone, and before he can explain, there's a knock at the door.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry. I was wondering if you knew where Kramer was.
No, I don't. Why?
Gendison. This is something, isn't it?
I suppose.
What did Kramer say?
I don't know. Nothing.
Come on, Jerry. You know something. Tell me! Tell me! Ooh, Chunkies. Margaret?
Hello.
You two know each other?
You might say that.
We used to go out.
Toodaloo. Nice seeing you again, Margaret. Bye, Jerry. Have fun.
You went out with Newman?
Just a few times.
Why?
I liked him.
You liked Newman?
Look, I'm a little uncomfortable talking about this, okay?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just a little curious. I mean, why did you stop seeing him?
He ended it.
He ended it?
Yes. Yes. It was a couple of years ago. Why? Does it matter?
No. No, of course not.
What a perfect stroke of brilliance to have Newman be an ex of one of Jerry's current girlfriends. What's even worse is that she, Margaret, still seems to be torn up about it. She doesn't feel comfortable talking about it when Jerry prompts her. And that's pure genius.
I never really picked up on that. I thought it was just because it's like, I don't want to talk about my ex with you. But you think there might be a little more longing for Newman there?
Yeah, well, because as we'll learn, Newman's the one who ended it.
Yeah. Or no, we heard it there. Yeah, Margaret says he ended it. He ended it. Yeah, man, this is actually one of my favorite mysteries in the entire run of Seinfeld. It's so damn perfect. What could be worse for Jerry than dating a girl that went out with Newman, of all people?
Newman found unacceptable.
And Newman found her unacceptable. It's like with the Christine Taylor's character, where no one likes her. That's not a mystery for Jerry so much as it is for the audience, but we're left wondering, like, what's wrong with Christine Taylor? And what's wrong with Margaret? We'll find out later. Maybe it's not so much what Newman found wrong with her, but just the fact that Newman was with her is enough.
Yeah.
But love Newman in this scene. Wayne Knight has really embraced this.
Lex Luthor to Jerry's Superman.
Of course. And we've brought that up from time to time, especially last season with the Raincoats, with the Seinfelds and Schindler's List. He's really playing up that arch nemesis, kind of relationship with Jerry. But here it's brutal, from nice seeing you again, Margaret. Goodbye, Jerry. Have fun.
Yes. Speaking of Margaret, she is played by actress Marita Garrity, and she was in Groundhog Day as well as Don Juan DeMarco.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I really like her look. I don't want to say she's a memorable girlfriend, but I like her in this episode.
Yeah, I do too. And Kramer actually hits the nail on the head later on. He's like, no makeup. I love that. Yeah. I think she is a natural beauty. She's beautiful. Red hair too.
For sure.
Curls.
But there's nothing, quirky about her, I think, to make her one of the more memorable girlfriends.
She's no Toby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Two last things before we move on here. When Newman is talking to Jerry about, hey, Kramer, do you know where he is? The reason he comes into the apartment is he notices a Chunky on the counter. Ooh, Chunkies. And he puts it in his pocket, when he notices Margaret. And I'm like, that is brilliant. That is total foreshadowing, or at least setup for a future episode. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Chunky that's been eating these Chunkies.
Right. Yeah, of course, we know the upcoming episode when Jerry gets fleas and he finds the Chunky wrapper in his couch cushion, which leads him to Newman, who has the fleas.
Newman's the Chunky who had the Chunky. It's essentially his smoking gun.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Have you ever had a Chunky?
Yeah, I think I liked it. You got it for me that weekend when I visited you in Harlem when you had the entire Seinfeld spread.
Oh,
that
that's right.
That was the first time I had a Chunky.
That was very exciting because I had never seen a Chunky. Growing up in Indiana, we don't have them there, and I was really disappointed to find out it's not the chocolate. That was great, but it's got raisins in it, and that's no good.
I'm surprised Newman would go for that. A dried fruit?
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like him. All
right. One other thing, Newman did mention that he had a girlfriend back in season 4, right?
The pitch.
Right.
He mentioned having a girlfriend, and she was pretty wild, and that's why he had the motorcycle helmet, because she had a motorcycle. But Margaret doesn't seem like the type to own a motorcycle or anything of the sort.
Oh, but he could have been talking about Margaret, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's possible. it tests. Well, Kramer bursts in, very upset. Turns out they found a golf tee in the dry cleaner.
Oh my,
it's brutal.
Yeah.
We never we don't know how Pinkus died, right? Was he shot? Was he strangled?
It was by tea.
Yeah, it was by tea. So someone stabbed him with a tea, I guess.
Repeatedly, yes.
Ooh, brutal. We get an act break here, and when we come back, we're at Monk's. Jerry, understandably so, is really having a tough time moving past the Newman-Margaret, relationship.
She went out with Newman.
Must be a mistake.
No, it isn't. And the most distressing part about it is not that she went out with him, but that he stopped seeing her. Do you understand? Newman stopped seeing her. Newman never stopped seeing anybody. Newman will see whoever is willing to see him. So the question then is not so much why did she see him, as disturbing as that is, but why did Newman, stop seeing her?
Perhaps there's more to Newman than meets the eye.
No, there's less.
It's possible.
No, it isn't. I've looked into his eyes. He's pure evil.
Maybe he's an enigma, a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
Yeah, he's a mystery wrapped in a Twinkie.
It is just eating away at him.
I feel like Jerry's being really petty because Margaret's a lovely lady. She seems really nice. But a lot of people, I think, struggle, with dating someone and hearing about their ex. Either their ex or...
Just hearing about an ex that you've never met is unsettling at times. You
just don't want to talk about someone's ex-boyfriend, right?
Of course. But to learn that it is the person you despise most and they equally hate you back. And then to compound that with they don't find the girl that you're with attractive enough. They left her. She didn't meet Newman's expectations, so he left. Like, as Jerry says, Newman found this unacceptable.
But he wants to know more than anything, why did Newman stop seeing her? That's the important issue. Why did Newman stop
Newman stopped seeing her?
Hi, Newman. Can you do that voice one more time?
Hi, Newman.
I love that. Hi, Newman.
You're good.
All right. I think Jerry does a great bit of acting in that clip. He's really stepped it up each season. He's not a great actor, sure, but I think it works perfectly for this show.
He's great. He's perfect at playing himself.
Jerry the Great. Jerry tells Elaine that the stationery guy called yet again. He's got the Rolomec 1000 for her, but oh no, Elaine bought one the other day on 14th Street. And now she has to go tell the stationery store guy she already got one. Since it's an expensive pencil, you don't want to stick him with a bill. I really like this situation because it's sort of like you have to break up with someone face to face.
It is in a way.
In a way.
But they haven't been on, was it 7 dates?
Yeah.
And there was
I
no,
could have let you go.
And there was no unless there was any sexual activity. But yeah, I know what you're saying. To have to do it in person, yeah.
At least for Elaine, you know, she has to do something she doesn't. She doesn't want to see this guy again, and now she has to like let him down. And you know, when we get to that scene, I feel like Elaine is anticipating what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not so much, "Hey, I'm sorry." It's what is the guy going to ask of me?
The guilt trip he is going to lay on her.
Right. Anyways, Julie stops by. She's meeting George for lunch, and Elaine makes the joke, "Hey, maybe I better leave, or else he'll make me buy him lunch to make up for the big salad he bought me yesterday," which really catches Julie off guard. How do you know that? And this is that other moment that really rubs me the wrong way. Julie just seems so... like
You're
she's
really upset.
Well, she's just like playing people. It's like, how do you know that? Like she anticipated this moment.
Well, I don't know if she anticipated it, but the fact that she just learned George said something about him paying for the big salad and not Julie.
Which makes me think that Julie purposefully gave the salad to Elaine and took credit for it to bait George.
Oh, she was testing him, you're thinking?
I think so, 100%.
Okay.
If I'm in Julie's situation and someone like Elaine is like, "Oh yeah, George bought me lunch," I would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's true, he did." I wouldn't get upset about the fact that George told her. I'd be like, "Yeah, that's the truth."
And Julie doesn't know the circumstances under, even though it was George being an ass, but she doesn't know the circumstance under which George revealed that information.
Well, then we cut here. Does Elaine tell Julie, "George told me he did, and he was really upset about it"? Like, how much information does Elaine give Julie?
Right.
After this cut?
Well, knowing how much Elaine loves George, I'm sure she gave some insight into that cab ride to Julie.
It's a different situation, but it's like later on in the series when, why do the Rosses think you have a house in the Hamptons? I told them. What did you tell them?
I told him you didn't.
And I laughed and I laughed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Elaine is as malicious here, but
it's coming.
Yeah.
Not yet.
For sure. Let's cut over to Newman's apartment. First time we're in, on the inside at least. Let's talk about it. Anything you noticed?
First thing was his apartment number. He lives in 5E. Right. So that means he lives just down the hall from Jerry. They live on the same floor.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I thought for the longest time Newman lived below Jerry.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, he felt like he was underneath him.
That's funny. This is just something you just kind of assumed? Was there an episode where...
No. I mean, I think in all my years of watching Seinfeld, like little Jerry, "Oh, I'm going down to Newman's. Great, I love Newman."
Yeah.
But if little Jerry made it to there from Jerry's to Newman's in under 30 seconds. So it makes sense. I don't know. I had a goof there.
Well, real quick, that number 5E, that has shown up before, and I think it was the blonde with bonkers.
So Jerry lives in 5A. Kramer lives in 5B, and then Newman's in 5E.
And then Phil with Fredo.
And his maid there.
Yeah, that's my wife. That's my wife. He might be on the 5th floor somewhere, too.
He's probably like 5C or D, maybe.
He is, because you live right there.
He lives next to Kramer. Yeah.
I guess I'll see you.
Yeah.
Anyways, anything else in Newman's apartment you picked up on? There's just crap everywhere.
Oh, yeah. The foot bath, right?
Oh, yeah. Disgusting.
And what else? It's very cluttered in his apartment.
Well, you might see in my notes here, I wrote down quite a few items that I picked up on. Right by the door, I love the gumball machine. That just takes me back to my childhood because my sister had one of those, and I would always put a penny in, get a gumball. Anyways. There's a Super Nintendo on top of his TV. It's kind of hard to see. Right by the door, near the gumball machine, there's a Monk's menu stuck on the wall, like decoration.
Nice.
Yep. It doesn't say Monk's on it, but you can look up the Monk's menu prop, and sure enough, it's the same one. In the back, on the bookshelf, a bunch of vinyls. I'm think
Records?
Records, yeah.
Are these left over?
I think they could be from the old man episode.
The old coot sitting on a mountain of gold.
Also on the couch, you've got these dinosaur pillow covers. And if you go back to George's old apartment, remember in the fix-up when he's sitting there, his pillowcases are those same patterns. So either they have the same sheets, or maybe Newman took his pillows. And one other thing, in the bathroom, I noticed a no parking sign. And I'm like, oh, there's really nothing to make of that. But then I was trying to connect it to the scofflaw. And we know Newman is the scofflaw, and he has all these, unpaid parking tickets. I wonder if he stole a no parking sign so he could park somewhere.
Wow, he's like a little vigilante, isn't he?
Yeah, right? So
I like that. That one kind of tracks as well, just like the Chunky rapper.
Mm-hmm, for sure. So
good work, my friend.
Well, thank you. I don't have a clip, unfortunately, but Wayne Knight is just fantastic in the scene, right? He's again really embraced that arch nemesis persona. He's kind of playing coy, like, oh, what brings you down to the East Wing?
I know. Cut the bull, sister.
Yes. Jerry wants to know what happened to Margaret, and Newman just explains, you've alluded to this, Vinny, she wasn't his type. She just didn't do it for him. He needs a really pretty face. As Jerry leaves, Newman, of course, tells him to drop by anytime and gives that maniacal laugh. Let's cut back to Jerry's apartment. When he gets back, Kramer stops by reading from a golf rule book that breaks down his claim that Gendison deserved that extra stroke for picking up his ball. We didn't really talk about this before. Gendison picked up a ball, cleaned it, put it back. You're only allowed to do that when you're on the green. Do these rules sound familiar to you?
That is true, yes.
Okay.
So you must have picked it up while they were on the fairway, which you can't do. You can't do it in like a professional game, but when you're playing with your buddies, people will do that.
I was going to ask you if this rule sounds right. Like, when you've played golf, are you ever strict like this?
I'm not. I have a friend who actually, he always moves, like if we're in the fairway, he'll always move his ball so it's like propped up on a nice patch of grass versus where it landed. And that always struck me as like, I'm thinking of Happy Gilmore, play the ball as it lies, jerk. So I don't say anything, but I don't do that. I keep my ball where it hit. So that's why I'm probably worse at golf, is because I don't move it.
I'm thinking of that scene in Caddyshack when Ted Knight and or Judge Smales and Noonan, they're talking, and the judge just keeps like hitting, like kicking the ball.
Oh, go ahead, sir. Improve your lie, please.
Don't count that.
Of course, sir.
We get a little more insight into Kramer's childhood. He says, he was raised to follow the rules, Vinny. What's the specific rule? He had to be in bed every night by 9 o'clock? And if he wasn't?
Well, I don't have to tell you what happened. There's that line that sticks out, I think, to everyone about Kramer's childhood and how strictly he was raised, right?
Yeah, and I assume that was Babs who was dishing out the punishment, right?
Hi, Kramer.
Good night, Kramer.
Do you think she called him by his last name when he was a kid?
Morning, Kramer. Yeah, I don't know. I love that voice so much.
I know, it is
because it doesn't really sound like her.
You know who it sounds like is Marvin the Martian.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, yes. Kramer throws out some motive, though, over this murder. Gendison did complain about Pinkus before when they were playing golf. Apparently, he got some pants back that were stained, and Pinkus denied responsibility.
With a dry cleaning fluid.
Oh, that's right, yes. How can it be dry cleaning with a fluid, though?
That's what I'd like. That's what I'd like to know about it.
So, again, maybe, Gendison is on edge, he really hates this Pinkus guy. Maybe Kramer just gave him that, little push, and that caused him to kill him.
Poor Pinkus. Poor little Pinkus.
Love that line. That's a good one. So Jerry asks Kramer, hey, what do you think of Margaret? But, Vinny, what do you think of Margaret?
Oh, she's a natural beauty. No makeup. I like that.
And the curls? You like the curls?
Oh, I love curls.
Yeah, me too. When I met my wife, Liz, for the first time, I thought of that line. Like, oh, she's a natural beauty. No makeup? Oh, I like that. Kramer decides to head out and visit Gendison. It's all weighing on his conscience. I guess Gendison is just chilling at home, right? Unless the police decide to arrest him. But let's cut over to Monk's. George is out for coffee with Julie. Topic of conversation, dolls. You want to sum up this discussion here?
You know what? I think I got to play with dolls if there were dolls in the house. Seems like fun to me. Doesn't seem like a gender thing.
Yeah.
I think I would like to play with dolls. What's so terrible?
So George is claiming that he did not play with dolls growing up. It would have been nice, though.
Yeah.
Which is a lie. It's a lie. Remember when Frank came up with the idea of Festivus? He was shopping for a doll.
True.
He says, I was shopping for a doll, and Kramer's like, there must have been some doll.
She was.
She was. I think George had dolls growing up. That's my theory.
Okay. The only argument would be maybe Frank just misspoke and was looking for an action figure, but called it a doll.
Oh no, because he even says she was.
True.
It was I don't know. This to me, just again, it's sort of retconned with Festivus, but it just makes me think that maybe George is talking about something he's embarrassed about, but trying to play it up like, hey,
right, test the waters and see how Julie would react to it.
Yeah, and then he'll show her his doll collection. Total worth $102. I doubt he had nice dolls like Susan.
No, sir.
Anyways, Julie gets to the point. She was talking to Elaine before.
We're just friends.
Yes. Well, anyway.
What a schmucky thing to say. To assume that Julie would be jealous that George, that I think is now I'm back on Julie's side after George said that stupid line.
Yeah, it's perfect, arrogant George. That's what she's talking about.
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
Don't you worry.
Well, anyways, Elaine said something that was rather intriguing.
Oh, share.
She basically accuses George of telling Elaine that he bought the salad.
And at that moment, George knows he's busted, but I'm not following. So he's still trying to kind of save face and I guess play dumb. And then Julie comes back with, well, my question is this. How could Elaine be under the impression that you bought the big salad when I was the one who handed it to her?
After you told me that money isn't a big deal to you. That's in there. That's implied.
And George responds with, well, she probably just assumed.
Did she?
Wait a second. Are you suggesting that I went out of my way to tell Elaine that even though you handed her the big salad, that it came from me?
That's what I'm suggesting.
Well, it was a big salad. And what I'd like to know is how does a person who has nothing to do with the big salad claim responsibility for that salad and accept a thank you under false pretenses?
I'm glad that we're spelling this all out because I think this is an interesting conversation to have. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy here? Your overall thoughts, Vinny?
I don't like to pick sides. I don't like confrontation. But I think both parties have a valid argument. George is definitely in the right here. He is the one who bought the big salad. Thus, he should have earned a thank you from Elaine.
But
Julie,
not just that. Julie shouldn't have handed Elaine the salad.
And given such a warm, oh, you're so welcome. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's on me. So I think they both went about it in a poor way. But I like how George had all this pent up resentment toward Julie, and it came out in that last explosion there. That I paid for it, and then you take it and hand it out under false pretenses. So I like that he finally got his truth out, even though it's going to cost him this relationship.
Yeah.
But I tend to side with George, but I think both parties are at fault for the way they behaved.
Yeah, I mean, I think even before the whole big salad issue, I think George and Julie weren't really right for each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, George seems to be very confident, I guess, with her. Obnoxious. But he kind of screwed himself over by saying money isn't an issue. I think that comment is almost what spurred Julie on to take credit for the big salad. Julie knew what she was doing, basically. Whether or not she was testing George to see if money really was an issue, or maybe she was trying to find a way to sabotage the relationship. I don't know. But it is George's fault. If he didn't claim that money was an issue for him, I don't think Julie would have ever taken credit for the big salad.
So George started it.
Yeah, I think it was really George's fault. Having said that, though, that's really messed up. You know what I mean? Like that's I'm not saying like we should feel bad for George, but Julie can't pretend or judge George for telling Elaine that he bought the salad and hold that against him. I don't think.
When she made such a big to-do about giving Elaine the big salad.
Yeah, when she baited him, you know.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm with you.
I wish, yeah. But,
They don't belong together as a couple anyway, so
Yeah,
I'm glad they're breaking up now.
yeah, kind of a cop-out. But ultimately, like, you know, hearing both sides, I agree with George, like, you know, 95%. I would say, just because that's so messed up to take credit for the salad, I think.
I'd really love to hear how the listeners feel about this. If they
Yeah.
can post on Facebook or Twitter to kind of say, you know, hashtag Team George or hashtag Team Julie. Who was in the right with this big salad debacle?
For sure. Let's move over to the stationery store. Elaine is apologizing profusely to the stationery guy.
It's just that my boss is very demanding, and he needed the pencil right away.
Well, why did you tell me to order it if you knew you were going to get one someplace else?
No, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I went all the way down to the warehouse. It took me 3 hours. I had a big fight with the foreman.
Really? A fight with the foreman?
Yes.
Well, again, I'm just awfully sorry.
Yeah? Well, then how about going out with me?
Okay.
As soon as the scene starts, you know where this conversation is going. It's not just about apologizing. It's what can the guy get out of it. And it's, oof.
He's a manipulator, and there's a moment, there's a word that he says when the audience picks up on it, and you know,
I'm
Elaine,
just awfully sorry.
yeah. Oh,
Even you kind of like
such a
straightened up.
sleazy way of. Well, how about going out with me tonight?
Okay.
He played her, and unfortunately, because Elaine's so nice, she agrees.
Oh,
Okay.
He would buy 100 Rolomex in order to get a date with her.
Yeah, well, it's Elaine Marie Bennis. Come on
Yeah,
now.
but-
But still,
Yes.
total sleazeball.
Yes, it's fantastic. I just don't get why Elaine refuses to go on a date with him. Like, she doesn't have to.
Yeah, she turns down guys all the time. So what's the difference with this guy? But this is still, maybe we're in that transition period still where Elaine is, the wholesome, good Elaine to the, like, just beaten down, I've had it with the city kind of Elaine.
Underconfident Elaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's tested over season 6 and a little bit into season 7 to the point where she's just like, whatever. Like, she definitely develops, I think, a drinking problem later on when George gets engaged, you know. The vault, of course. Well, let's go over to Margaret's car. Jerry and Margaret are parked. They're still talking about the evidence surrounding the Pinkus murder. But Jerry can't really talk about it anymore. He wants to know more about Newman. Like, how many dates did you go on?
Around 3. I don't know.
Jerry is still perplexed. You know, why did they break up? We hear Newman's argument. He just didn't find her attractive. So if that is the real reason, there's nothing else for Jerry to be upset by, right? Like, what's the big deal? Newman didn't find you attractive. I do. Let's move on.
He asked, she told, move on.
Right, but he can't stop staring at her face, and now it's moving to what I mentioned earlier. It's not about why they broke up. It's that Newman probably kissed this. Newman was intimate with this person.
Well, where's he going to look?
Kiss me.
Oh, wait, are we still doing the show?
No.
Now, just in the same way that Julie baited George, this is Margaret who is now onto Jerry, and she's testing Jerry. So she's playing a little devilish game too. And Jerry tries, he puckers up, he gets in close. I can't.
And we cut to that awesome shot. I love this moment of the car door opening, and then you just see Jerry getting thrown out onto the sidewalk.
He is flung to the sidewalk. One of those, iconic images, moments you see in the clip shows and just that you think of that with the physical bits in Seinfeld. Here's one of them.
Great physical, absolutely. And again, something we probably couldn't see in those earlier seasons before the New York street set. You know, you're really given some space to see him throw to land on the sidewalk. And of course, as he sits on the sidewalk frustrated, Newman. Love that. Fantastic stuff here. Let's cut over to Jerry's apartment for the final scene of the episode. Jerry, admits to Elaine, I couldn't get over that face, that Newman found so unacceptable. So maybe I overspoke. Maybe it wasn't that Newman was intimate with her. Just, again, that Newman couldn't find this attractive, so how am I going to find it attractive?
Newman was repulsed by it. Jerry is repulsed by Newman. Thereby, he is repulsed by Margaret.
Of course. So George arrives, sort of strolls in, not very happy with Elaine.
I'm not treating you to lunch anymore! You had to tell Julie that I made a special point of telling you that I bought you the big salad, didn't you? You know, if it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have the big salad!
I don't think I've ever seen George so animated before. This is insane.
Yeah. Filled with rage.
I wonder who came up with that, because that's, again, kind of like a Kramer-esque thing to do.
True.
But definitely a season 6 to 9 George thing to do, you know? Beat bopping and scatting all over the place.
Yeah.
But the big salad thing, I guess, is resolved. As we move on to the capper of the episode, Jerry gets a phone call. Any idea who's calling, by the way?
Who could be the one calling? Who would know about this? George, Elaine, that's everybody.
Yeah.
Who, I'm...
Maybe Uncle Leo, maybe?
Perhaps.
Yeah. But it's kind of hard to have a short conversation with Leo.
And Jerry would kind of make a face, I think, if Uncle Leo... Oh, hi, Leo.
Yes.
You know?
But
so
Jerry is told to turn on the TV and check out the news report.
Hey, listen to this. They issued a warrant for Gendison's arrest. He escaped, and the police have just spotted him on the New Jersey Turnpike.
As you can see, in a white Ford Bronco, the police have cleared the highway traffic in front of them, but they are keeping their distance. They don't want this situation to escalate. And we have gotten an identification on the driver of the vehicle. His name is Kramer. Golfing.
911. What are you reporting?
Yeah, this is Kramer. I got Gendison in the car. Now he wants to see his fish. I'm taking him to see his fish. So tell the police to back off.
Okay, sir. And what's your name?
My name is Kramer. You know I am, damn it!
I told you not to take the turnpike.
Yeah, well, I thought we would blend in.
If you took the Palisades, this never would have happened.
Yeah, then we would have had all that bridge traffic.
Just drive.
Is this the first O.J. Simpson parody, or at least reference on the show?
No, it's not.
It's not.
This is the first intentional OJ reference. But if you recall, a year ago or a season ago, in the Masseuse, we had Joel Rifkin, the serial killer, or at least the guy who had the name similar or of the serial killer, Joel Rifkin.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine was going through her list of names she would like Joel to change his name to, and one of the names she suggested was OJ. Oh, please change your name to OJ, please, please, please.
So unintentional. So we got an OJ reference before the murder, after the murder, and of course we're gonna have a trial episode and a Johnny Cochran-esque character in season 7.
Yep, Phil Morris based that character off of Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, a lot of OJ influence on Seinfeld. You know, I'm not a huge fan, I was saying earlier, of these topical references, but I just love this one. It reminds me a lot of the JFK magic bullet scene from The Boyfriend. Just something so topical, everyone gets it, and it fits so perfectly into Seinfeld without being tasteless or lowbrow.
I agree wholeheartedly, because these are moments in history, in U.S. history, that are kind of, they're always going to be there. Everyone always will know about the JFK assassination as well as the O.J. Simpson trial. Whereas the other topical reference I'm thinking of is It's Hammer Time. That one seems,
That dates it.
Yeah, it dates it. Whereas these ones, the show took place in the 90s, but those two particular references, JFK and OJ, fit and they work.
I don't know at the time if people realized what a huge impact, culturally and in the media that the O.J. Simpson trial would have. I mean, at this point, it's just the car chase, which is, I know, insane, and everyone was talking about it and watching. But, who would have thought that this is something we could still parody and reference in a year or two?
We also forgot about the caddy. Have her try the glove on.
Oh, that's what I was referencing with an episode really based around the trial itself and that classic, trying on the glove, doesn't fit. Let's talk about the scene here itself, though. Gendison, we finally see him, and not a real baseball player. Is this a sports guy or is this an actor? Do you know who plays him?
Steve Gendison is played by Dean Hallow, who was in the movies Falling Down, City Slickers, Honeymoon in Vegas, and Forever Young.
I don't know why. Like every time I saw this guy, I'm like, yeah, that is an athlete. Totally. Not at all.
He's just a good actor.
Just an actor. Yeah, it's a really funny scene as Kramer is the driver of the vehicle. Who drove O.J. Simpson?
Al Cowlings?
Yeah, Cowlings. AC, I think they call him on... you didn't watch People versus O.J. Simpson,
Not yet,
did you?
no.
Just wrapped up last week. Fantastic show. You know, like most people around that time, I was aware of the events, what was happening, but the show really gets into some great character studies, and the performances, man, out of this world. Like Sarah Paulson is incredible. The guy playing Johnny Cochran.
Is Kato in there?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Because Kato was recently a guest on the Nikki Glazer podcast.
Wow.
And he was hilarious.
Talk about a media whore. That guy loves.
He does.
Yeah,
well, he's got his own product line, but he was hilarious. I think he does improv or some type of comedy. But I really enjoyed, and they had a really good time with him on their on the podcast. It's the Nikki Glazer Not Safe podcast, corresponding to her Comedy Central show. Mm-hmm. It was good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, it's just insane when you think of all of the people that somehow profited off of that trial. Either they became reality TV stars, or they wrote a book, or they.
I remember, like every figure like stood out. Judge Ito, Christopher Darden, I think his name was.
Yeah, Chris Darden. Mm-hmm.
All those names.
By the way, as good as Sarah Paulson and Johnny, the guy playing Johnny Cochran are, the guy playing Chris Darden on the show, he was my favorite. I thought he was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually really fun to revisit. It is fun though to revisit, these events from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's weird to think of it as retro now, But one joke in here. I was trying to remember when Kramer says, he wants to see his fish. I'm taking him to see his fish.
Right.
I'm like, what was said in reality? I forget. And on the 911 call,
he wanted to see his daughter, right? Or
his mother. I'm taking him to see his mother. That's what AC said while OJ had the gun to his head, which is obviously omitted from this scene. There's no gun.
Yeah.
But in the script, which I thought was interesting, Kramer says he wants to see his dog. I'm taking him to see his dog. So they changed it to fish. I guess that's
fish sounds much funnier.
Yes. And who wants to see a fish? There's
a tiny fish. You can't cuddle up with a fish.
Nothing there. Just a great ending. Love it. Absolutely. Vinny, check out People versus O.J. Simpson if you get a chance.
Copy that.
All right. Let's move on to the closing stand-up.
To me, murder doesn't even really seem like that great a revenge. Wouldn't years of subtle psychological mind games be a lot more satisfying, just constantly calling them and hanging up when they pick up the phone, sending pizzas and taxis to their house all night long. After a while they go, I wish this guy would just kill me already. I can't take it anymore. And how come whenever the police catch some really bad criminals, they always put them in the handcuffs and they hit him with the baton, they put the chokehold on him, but then they're always careful. They don't want him to hurt his head when they're putting him in the back of the patrol car. They put watch your head there, watch your head, don't hit that metal edge there. That really hurts.
Here is another example of Jerry kind of just like speaking to me. I was a kid, I would watch the show Cops. I always saw the cops put their hand on top of the perpetrator's head to gently guide them into the car when they were arrested. And when Jerry, uttered those words, I don't want to say he connected with me, but I'm like, that's exactly what happens. Like that's so funny that you picked up on that, and it's so true because they're beating the guy with billy clubs and handcuffing him, and then they're like, oh, no, watch out for that metal edge here. That really hurts. From Jerry's voice, it that's why he was my favorite comedian and why this is my favorite show.
Part of me thinks that, if cameras weren't rolling, if you weren't seeing the guy being put in the car, I wonder if the police really would be that careful with you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe it's during Cops, when the cameras are rolling. All right. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Well, Matt, we've come to that time in the show. Would you take credit for this big salad?
I don't know what that means, but yes, I would.
Yeah.
I would take full credit.
Full credit is being taken for this big salad this week.
Yeah, great episode. I didn't really know what to expect because, based on the title, and just the salad premise, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a pretty good episode. But as I said in the beginning, so many little moments that I just love throughout this episode, from beginning to end. It's a fantastic episode. Right now, I think it's probably one of the best from season 6. I'm pretty confident in saying that. Maybe a few come close, but yeah. How do you feel about it? Overall thoughts?
I agree with you. This one actually flew under the radar for me. When I was doing my notes, I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing the big salad. But after going through it, I'm like, wow. And then just the cultural importance, significance, and the execution of parodying the O.J. Simpson story that was going on at the time is really clever. They did it in a as tasteful way, I think, as they possibly could.
Right.
But,
you kind of forget, and I think that's pretty evident in the media coverage during that time, that 2 people were murdered. This is like a really sad, tragic situation, and the way it was parodied and handled is just sort of, I don't know. I think of like a reflection of like our uglier side, as viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's hilarious as well. I love Kramer in that driver's seat.
Kramer in the driver's seat.
To see his fish.
You know who I am, damn it.
Yeah, well, that was another line that AC mentioned as well. I listened to the 911 call where they're like, who is this? And he's like, this is AC or Al Collins. You know who I am, God damn it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, direct lift. So
I love Kramer describing the story of Gendison and him coming to blows to Jerry, getting in his face, and the whole George getting upset over the salad. That's good stuff too.
Of course.
So, and the fact that it was lifted from Larry David's personal experience makes it that much more enjoyable, I think.
And it's one of those great storylines where it's just one little problem stretched across the entire 22 minutes. You know what I mean? You get a lot of meat off of that bone. For sure.
And it's a realistic, real world problem. It's a small thing. Somebody taking credit for something you bought for someone else. It's not a zany storyline. It's not grand. It's a tiny thing, everyday life. Anybody can experience this. The beauty of Seinfeld.
Love the stationary guy, that guest star. He does a fantastic job being a creep, and I feel really bad for Elaine being in that situation. Newman, fantastic this week as well.
Yep.
Pure evil, and of course, we can always refer to him as a mystery wrapped in a Twinkie from now on.
Henceforth.
What do you got to say about the Bobby A. Bear?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I love that.
Another great scene.
It really is fun to say, though. Like, Larry or George just hit the nail on the head. Hey, Bear.
It's a fun name to say. Try it.
It flows off the tongue.
Anything you didn't care for this week? Any nitpicks?
Other than Julie and her being a despicable person.
Oh, really? You really didn't like her?
No, she's not despicable. Maybe it's just because she came off as so sophisticated and so, like, I guess she didn't go well with George at all.
Right.
Like, I normally like when George has an issue with his girlfriend and we can see it. He didn't have a real issue with her. We saw that she wasn't, was too good for George. He was like beneath her in a way.
Right. And I feel like she could have ended it, but she decided to, I don't know, mess with him. And maybe he deserves it, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Only we know that. And what do you got to say about poor Margaret for not only Newman breaking her heart, but now Jerry
She's been dumped by
her.
She's been dumped by 2 guys in the Shelley now.
Yeah, in the Shelley. I like that term. Well, Vinny, is this entering your top 20 list? Vinny, right in front of me, I've got the first 88 episodes of Seinfeld, and I'm going to destroy all of them but 20. Are you saving this episode?
Oh, I don't like this game.
I've got a gun to each episode.
Yeah, this is a really cruel game you're playing, and I don't like it. But if I have to...
You don't have to. It's if you want to or not.
Well, the Chinese restaurant's too good. The Pen, all those even those episodes in the late teens for me. The Big Salad, I'd rather watch those than the Big Salad. And
keep in mind, Vinny,
I love the Big Salad.
Your number 20 right now is the Chinese restaurant.
And I feel bad. Something's gonna have to knock my socks off to oust the Chinese restaurant out of there.
Really? So you'd prefer watching The Deal over the Big Salad?
It's a classic moment in Seinfeld history.
Or The Boyfriend. You'd prefer watching The Boyfriend?
Come on!
So it's not going to crack your top 20. Is that what you're telling me?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't think it will.
So I can destroy this episode and all future copies.
Get it out. Actually, in my DVD case of 20 DVDs, I slipped a second disc in there with the Big Salad.
Well, I'm going to get that disc and I'm going to destroy it.
What about you, Numbnuts? Does this crack your top 20?
It most certainly does.
Where do you think you're going to put this episode?
I'll tell you where I'd like to put it.
There it is.
I'm going to put this at my number 13, lucky 13. So that's going to knock the movie out of my top 20, and this is going to land between The Chinese Restaurant at number 12 and The Deal at number 14.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Do it.
Vinny, what episode are we talking about next week?
Stop the show! We're on a very fixed income! We're discussing the third episode of Season 3, The Pledge Drive.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Drop by anytime, Jerry.